What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Now, this is I've already heard Legion. Okay, I did an intro clip and the file got corrupted, but I'm just thanking the Lord above that I didn't lose the full reaction. So we're grateful today, okay? But this is my reaction to Legion, and I want to say quickly, we're going to be live tomorrow morning on Twitch checking out the entire new Tesseract album. It comes out tomorrow, the 15th. I'm so excited. I won't give away anything about the reaction to Legion, of course, but we're going to be live tomorrow at 10 a.m. Irish time. That's 10 a.m. Irish time, 10 a.m. UK time, and then pretty much 10 a.m. across Europe. But I know there's different countries that are maybe an hour ahead of Ireland, so it'll be like 11 a.m. Either way, follow on Twitch. All the links are going to be in the description, so you'll get notified when I do go live. It's going to be 10 a.m. though, so get involved. I want to see as many new faces there as possible. It's going to be so much fun. This album reaction is obviously going to go on YouTube, so if you want to be a part of the YouTube video, then get involved, guys. Anyways, here's Legion, a fantastic track. I won't give away any more. Enjoy. All right, forgive me if I get a little bit loosey-goose for this one. I'm very excited. I've seen some of the Instagram clips. Straight off rip, on stream recently we've been playing a lot of Alien Isolation, so it's funny to see Dan in the astronaut suit. But yeah, that's just a little observation off rip. Absolutely no relevance to anything there, but higher it up, please. All the layers. Dan doesn't wear one of these costumes for his stream at some point. Missed opportunity there, Dan. Wow, it really is just a new era of the band, isn't it? Fuck yeah. These shots are beautiful as well. That nice yellow contrast with the blue. Oh. I don't want to cry. I'm not going to do it. I love this band so much, man. I tuned into Dan's stream last night. I don't want to cut across him here. I think we're at the end though. But my God, what a single to play us out into the full album release, which again comes out in a few hours, which is going to be fantastic. But yeah, just to briefly touch on what I was watching last night. So I joined into Dan's stream last night just briefly, and he was having a good chat. It was a really like wholesome chat with his audience about, I guess, the power of music, and I guess what meaning music should have for people, about challenging themselves. And he was discussing the techniques used at the end of this track. Now I'm going to listen to it again off camera and then come back with, I guess, a bit more of a, comprehensive breakdown. But just hearing the vocal performance at the end of this was absolutely unbelievable. Dan has clearly been like really challenging himself from a vocal standpoint. I mean, he's always been a great vocalist, but for me, he's just like leveled up exponentially. It's been absolutely unbelievable to see such a genuine bloke as well. Really, really wish the best for them in this album. It's going to be fantastic. I believe I know the whole album of the year gets thrown around so much and it gets a bit annoying when everyone's like, this is, as soon as something new drops, it's album of the year. But Tesseract, being the band that they are, I think they really do have the capability to pull off album of the year. Now, it's completely subjective, but I think they're going to be in my top 3 albums of the year. I think each track that they've had so far has grown on me exponentially. War of Being was obviously a huge comeback track, and, an absolute Goliath of a track, being over 11 minutes long or whatever it is. But there's so much nuance to unpacking it. Their music requires so much listening, so many layers going on, whether it be just even Dan's vocals. There's so much to unpack just from Dan's vocals. But then I haven't even really discussed any of the instrumentals at all, which is why I'm going to go and listen to this one more time and then come back with a little bit more detail, because this track just gave me chills all over. I like this one more than The Grey. The Grey was fun, but it's not been like my go-to going back to track. Now, again, speaking of Tesseract and having that replay value all the time, and there being so many layers to their music, it does require a few listens, and it has grown on me, but it hasn't grown on me as much as War of Being has. War of Being is still one of my favorite tracks of the year, if not my favorite. Again, we'll discuss that towards the end of the year, what actually will take my top spot, but they are definitely up there already, which is why I'm so excited for the rest of the album. But this one, possibly Dan's best vocal performance on any Tesseract track ever. There's so much technique used throughout the entirety of the track, especially towards the end. But let me listen to it one more time and we'll be back, okay? All right, okay. It's been like a half an hour. I've listened to this song a unhealthy amount of times in whatever, half an hour. How many times can you fit 4 minutes, 57 seconds into half an hour? That's how many times I've listened to this track. Literally the last half an hour has just been play the whole song, pause it in certain parts, and play the section again. In particular, the outro vocal section from Dan, which got me teared up. This is the thing about the new Tesseract music that I've heard so far. It's kind of like, I'll listen to it once and then I'm like, yeah, that was so fucking sick. And then I'll listen to it again. I'm like, oh, Dan has never sounded so good. I've prepared some notes on this, but I'm just going to kind of free roll with it, to be honest, because yeah, the emotions are spilling over in this one. Yeah, man, this album is going to be absolutely unbelievable. I'll go into more detail about this track in particular and all of the singles so far tomorrow morning on the stream, but let's just talk about the theme of the album so far. Obviously, the theme, you relax. The theme has been so cool, whether it be the game that's implemented into the actual album, the videos now obviously with Dan in the spaceship, and then we had the War of Being video as well. It's just all been so fucking cool. The songwriting has all just felt so in line with the visual aspect of the album so far. I know we've only got 3 tracks, and maybe they'll do a single down the line or a video after the album comes out for other tracks. I don't know what they have in the pipeline, but it just seems like Tesseract have just really leveled up, whether it be their music video production, the overall, just even the fact that they're doing the event in London, which was a really cool thing. It just makes them feel like a bit of a powerhouse. They've always been that powerhouse, but this is really differentiating themselves from other bands in the space, because I think they just fucking deserve it at this point, man. They've been gone for so many years. They've been so goddamn consistent. Name a bad Tesseract album, it just doesn't exist. So I can't imagine this one being any different, especially based off of the singles we've gotten so far. So yeah, I'm rambling a little bit, but let's just talk about Dan for a moment. I know I've spoken about Dan a lot already, and we'll touch on the instrumentals and everything, but I mean, it's Tesseract. They always just fucking smash it out of the park when it comes to the instrumentals and the atmosphere. It's just one of the reasons I fell in love with the band in the first place. But let's be real here. There's a real standout in this track, and I've got to say it's Dan. Dan is absolutely phenomenal. I loved the intro to the track. Like, Dan's initial vocals have like a really discreet grit in his voice, but it's not like really prominent. It's just the way he opens up. There's like, you can hear the little grit in the voice, and it almost kind of, having listened to it a few more times, I didn't catch it at first, but it's almost like foreshadowing that the track is going to get a little bit heavier. Now, we did get that in the Grey, we got that heaviness, but this one kind of felt like that raw, like, I want to go back to One. I think anytime people talk about Tesseract being heavy, they refer back to One, but this doesn't even feel like that level of heavy. It feels so much more calculated and nuanced at this point. I think they've just gone so deep down this rabbit hole, and they've really found a sound that is just so fucking unique to them, and it's going to be very hard for anyone to even get close to it. I think they've just mastered it at this point, and that's obviously through years of dedication and all of the fucking hard work that the band has done together, and obviously, you know, changed their vocalists and stuff like that, and back to Dan. So it's been a wild journey for the band. But yeah, the fucking falsetto run at the end and throughout the track, particularly towards the end, but you know, there was obviously the falsetto moments where Dan really got up into that higher range, which is something I haven't really heard from Dan, and that's what I mean by him kind of stealing the show. I won't say steal the show in this track, because the whole song is absolutely gorgeous. Like, even when Dan's not singing, it's just instrumentally supreme, as Tesseract always is. But Dan really getting up there was absolutely unbelievable. Like, I actually couldn't believe it. Like, first listen, a bit much to take in, all just, you know, sensory overload, but having listened to it a few more times now over the last half an hour, my goodness, that outro section. And again, this is what he was touching on last night on his stream, like, about how hard it is to actually go to them places. And I can hear it. I'm not a vocalist, I don't really understand the nuance and the technicality of vocals, but I know to even attempt something like that is gotta be a feat in itself. So yeah, that finale moment of the track is, for me, the standout part. So much emotion. It's not just getting up there for the sake of it, it actually like brings out the track so much more. So phenomenal stuff. Instrumentally superb as always. They've somehow captured the heart of that Tesseract feel from all of the previous albums and shaped it into something that just feels fresh, but also still nostalgic. So I'm sure there's so much more to like touch on in this track. As far as ratings go, oh my god, I think I want to give this one a 9.5. Might be, it's already joined with my favorite tracks of the year. I think I gave War of Being a 9.5 as well. I don't know why I gave The Grey. I think I might have given it like in the 8s. I'm not entirely sure, or I don't think I actually rated it because we listened to it like in a video game, so it was a little bit hard to fully rate it. But for me, there's nothing wrong with this track. It's absolutely phenomenal. I'm not going to give it a 10 because they just don't exist on this channel, unfortunately. But 9.5 is the highest rating I've given on any tracks this year. Some of them were from Sleep Token. I believe the other ones were from some tracks on stream, but it's very few and far between. This track, have listened to it a few times. It's not just that emotion creeping through on the first listen. Have given it a few listens, and it's a 9.5 for me. Absolutely amazing song, and it's just made me even more excited to check out the album tomorrow, guys. So get involved in the stream tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Irish time, 10 a.m. UK time, and then 10 a.m. throughout most of Europe, maybe 11 a.m. for Europe. Just figure it out. You guys are smart enough to know the time differences. But anyway, guys, that is going to be all for me. Let me know what your favorite single is from Tesseract so far. We've had 3: War of Being, The Grey, and now Legion. Mine personally, as of right now, man, I don't know. Legion is definitely more digestible purely because of the length of it. You can listen to it quite easily and quite frequently, but War of Being is like a sit down fucking meal that you have to really digest. So this one has like a really good balance. I feel like this is a good balance between The Grey and War of Being, but I think War of Being is still my number one. But like, we're talking a photo finish like this close between Legion and War of Being, and then The Grey would be my third. Not a bad song, but I just prefer this one by a mile. But yeah, guys, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. Again, I'll see you tomorrow on Twitch. I'm signing out. Look after yourselves. Leave a like in the video. Bye.